Okay, so now we go to section 112, refunds or credit or tax credits of input tax. But you remember the zero rated, okay? And as I've discussed, this is one of the favorite of the examiners for the last 2 years. There is a rule here, and there is this case. I think this was, yes, the CIR versus Mindanao Geothermal Partnership and a host of others. There were the Aichi, the San Roque and everything. But right now, the rule is this, okay. You take note of paragraph C because in Mindanao to Geothermal Partnership, the High Court said, we summarize the rules on determination of prescriptive period or for filing a tax refund or credit of unutilized input VAT as provided in Section 112 of the 1997 Tax Code as follows. You must have an administrative claim and you file it with the BIR within 2 years after the close of the taxable quarter, where the zero rated or effectively zero rated sales were made. Remember, exempt transactions are not covered by this provision. Only the zero rated or effectively zero rated sales were made. And the Bureau of Internal Revenue has 120 days from the date of submission of complete documents in support of the administrative claim within which to decide whether to grant a refund or issue a tax credit certificate. The 120-day period may extend beyond the 2-year period from the filing of the administrative claim if the claim is filed in the later part of the 2-year period. If the 120-day period expires without any decision from the CIR, then the administrative claim may be considered to be denied by inaction, such that a judicial claim must be filed with the CTA within 30 days from the receipt of the CIR's decision denying the administrative claim or from the expiration of the 120-day period without any inaction or without any action from the CIR. And this one is all about in this the Aichi ruling before, because apparently clearly the Supreme Court or the High Court made a reconsideration on this rule. So an example, let's have an illustration. You have a zero rated sale on January of 2013, January 1. And of course, obviously, if you're zero rated sale, if you only have pure zero rated sales, you export everything, you obviously have input tax credit. And under Section 112, you are allowed to claim refund or tax credit. Now, you only have until March 31 of 2015, that's within 2 years, after the close of the taxable quarter where the sales were made. So the taxable quarter would be March 31 at the time. So you have 2 years from that, March, to claim the refund on his input VAT attributable to zero-rated sales. If the taxpayer files it exactly on March 31, then the 120 days given to the BIR to decide would have already exceeded the 2-year prescriptive period to file or to claim the refund. The taxpayer cannot just simply file the appeal to the CTA just because the 2-year prescriptive period had already expired. You would have to wait for the lapse of the 120 days or the denial. Remember that. Even if the 2-year so long as you file the claim within the 2-year prescriptive period. Because if you went or if you go directly to the CTA, there is no decision. And the CTA would have no jurisdiction because there is no decision to rule upon. The CTA will dismiss your appeal. So remember, you should wait for the lapse of the 120 days or the denial of the BIR for you to go to the Court of Tax Appeals. So you just remember the rule here. Claim it within 2 years after the close of the taxable quarter when the sales were made. Okay? So in our example, January 1, the close of the taxable quarter would be on the when the sales were made would be January or March, first quarter 2013, and you would have to claim that within 2 years from March 31, 2013. So that's March 2015. You should claim it. Now, the BIR from March 31, if you file it exactly on March 31, 2015, you should give the BIR 120 days to either deny or grant your request. And if you are denied of your request or there is an inaction, lapse of 120 days, you go to the CTA. You don't just go to the CTA just because on March 31, 2015, the 2-year prescriptive period would have expired already, right? You just don't go there. You have to wait for the inaction or the lapse of 120 days. Counted from March 31, 2000, or whenever you already uh, you submitted your documentary evidence. Okay, the reason why would the CTA dismiss that? It has no jurisdiction because there is no decision to rule upon. That's the basic of 112. And you take note of paragraph B, this one. There is no tax credit, only tax credit, no refund. What is that? Let's go there. A person, when you cancel your VAT registration, you take note of this. Apply for the issuance of tax credit certificate for any unused input tax which may be used in payment of his other internal revenue taxes. No refund here when you cancel your VAT registration. Okay, so that's it. You just take note of this rule here as provided in Mindanao Geothermal 2 or CIR versus Mindanao Geothermal 2 and this one, Mindanao Geothermal Partnership, Mindanao 2 Geothermal Partnership. There might be a question that would relate to this. So you take note of the date because prior to December 10, 2003, there is this ICHIC ruling where they allowed the appeal directly to the CTA even if the 120 days had not yet or has not yet elapsed or expired. That was the ruling on the BIR ruling from the time of issuance on December 10, 2003, up to that time only. So there might be a question that of the date. So you just remember this. Up to its reversal. Okay, on October. I'm sorry. That's up to October 2010. So 2010 below, taxpayers can rely on the BIR ruling this, which means they can go directly to the CTA without waiting for the 120 days to expire. But starting October 2010, this rule will apply. Okay, this rule will apply. This. So you must be able to master this. For the last 2 years, the examiners gave several questions on this one. Okay, so next we will discuss about section 113 and the 115 and the other percentage tax. That's for another module.